Now, Brandon, we've got some characters on the table.
We do.
These aren't necessary for the game, are they?
No, they're not. Like, for the most part, the game's just theatre of the mind. And you can just completely, like, scrap all these and just be like, oh, you're 10 feet away from that guy. Do you want to get closer to hit him? Sure, go for it. And then you get closer and you just swing to hit. But obviously, these bring a little bit more physicality to the game. A little bit more easy to represent, you know, different characters. You've got monsters. You've got, like, ways in which to lay out the battlefield. A little bit easier for people to see, but totally, you don't need it, which is the beauty of D&D. You can just sort of play the way that you want to play.
Well, I have a pretty active imagination, so I think I'll do all right without them.
I like your way of thinking.
So do I. Alright, so I'm running out of ideas, Brandon. I need some ideas for some monsters, man.
You do. And thankfully the monster manual, as you covered, it's got monsters. So many monsters. Monsters from all the alphabet. Even that guy, who's an owlbear.
Fantastic.
Oh my god, look at all these monsters.
Fantastic monsters and whatever. Alright, Dev's been around the block a couple times. He's taken on some blogs and some blogs and some Gregory's, and I'm kind of thinking, hey, maybe old Jeff can run a game of his own.
You want to run your own game, man?
I want to give it a go. What do I do? How do I play?
A little bit more complicated than a player's role, obviously. But honestly, it's one of my favorite parts of playing Dungeons and Dragons. So as a dungeon master, it's kind of your role to just narrate the game as to what's happening in the game, what the players can actually interact with. And like one of the really fun parts is you just get to build the world. Like you can absolutely use pre-existing settings, like is apparent in Dragon of Ice Spire Peak, which has its own pre-made stuff all ready to go. But you can make your own stuff. You can make your own world, you can make your own towns, you can make your own people who fill the towns, and it can just be bonkers. Like you can do whatever you want and just plonk your players down and see what happens. It does sound a little bit daunting, but it's so much more fun to just like go off the cuff and just improvise like everything that you have, because that way people just have more fun and it's more interesting that way.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Do I need to stick to a story though? Or make it up on the fly?
Hey, you absolutely, whatever you want to do, Andy.
Ooh.
Like if you want a super structured story, you absolutely can, and have story beats and have a start, middle, and end. The problem is players tend to just do whatever they want, and they just go off the cuff all the time. But that is the fun of Dungeons.
But a dungeon master probably shouldn't.
Dungeon Master can if they want. They can behind the scenes go like, I was going to introduce this person at this point in the story, but doesn't really make sense. Maybe I'll shuffle them to the end of the story. Or maybe you just have a random, like, really hard, like, super tough guy show up, and he was supposed to be at the end of the story, and I'm like, wow, that would make things more interesting now. Boop. Okay, players, you run into this crazy person.
Alright, I'm playing. I've written my own story. How long should a campaign go for?
It totally depends. Like some people do what's called one-shots, where it's literally just you sit down for a session one day and that's going to be start and end of the session that day. So you have a bunch of pre-planned stuff, you just go through that, one session, one and done. But you can absolutely just play for as long as you want, because things definitely don't usually wrap up in one session.
Interesting. If I don't want to make up my own story,
Yeah.
there's things to choose from, aren't there?
Hey, yeah, there's source books. Like some of the source books are either campaign source books or adventure source books. So some of them have pre-made adventures that you can plug into existing world if you've got a pre-made world that you already have. Or you can utilize a campaign source book which has a pre-made setting, it's got quests, it's got NPCs, it's got everything that you need to play the game, just ready to play for your players. And all you need to do is just read up on it and have it in the back of your mind ready to go when the players run into a crazy weird thing in your world and want to fight it usually.
Well, that looks like years of fun.
It does.
Right in front of me. Years on years on years. So, let's talk about the Essentials kit, Brandon.
Yeah.
This is absolutely entry-level stuff.
It is really, and it's actually a great deal because you get a ton of stuff in the Essentials kit that you're just going to use like at the table right away. So you got a rule book that covers like all the basic rules.
Everything I need to know.
Yeah,
Just
everything
out.
you need to know.
And
And
also,
then it
an
even has-
adventure to get started.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a pre-made adventure, so you don't actually have to worry about like creating an adventure from scratch. It already has it there, and it's actually a really good introductory adventure for both players and DMs because it has a super simple story style to it. That was a lot of S's. And yeah, you don't have to like spend a lot of time making up an adventure. You can just go straight from the essentials.
I'm excited for Ned to fight a dragon.
Yeah. And then it's also got cards.
Cards.
I spent so long puncturing these out. There's so many cardboard cards.
What are the cards?
You got like status effects, and there's like all the different statuses, so you don't have to like look in books and rules and stuff. And it's got like magic items
Little
to
shortcuts.
give to your players, to give to them.
Nice.
And then if you're using that adventure, it actually has like all the sidekicks and stuff as well that you can use for like stuff and quests.
I got the cloak of billowing.
Yeah.
And a mystery key.
It,
Oh wow.
It billows.
Have we missed anything, Brandon? Is there anything else I need to know before I get stuck into this game?
Honestly, I think we just gotta roll. We just gotta roll for it.
Ooh, I
Let's just get rolling.
like the cut of your jib.
Yeah. 14.
Well, Brandon, I know just about everything I think I would need to know to get started on a Dungeons and Dragons game of my own.
That's it.
And I checked out popculture.com, and boy, we've got pops, we've got die, we've got players guides, we've got everything you need, everything anyone could need to get started on an awesome campaign of their own.
Absolutely, yeah.
So thanks, Brandon. I feel very knowledgeable now about this whole thing, and I'm excited to get stuck into the world of D&D.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Appreciate you coming down,
Thanks for being here.
and thanks for watching, guys. This has been Dungeons and Brandons.
Dragons.
At Pop Culture.
Catch you later.